another video. In today's video, I'll talk about a new way to engage the youth that the organization is implementing. For those who joined the organization a few years ago, in the past, it was very difficult for anyone to have certain privileges within the congregation. I remember the times when someone recommended to be an elder had to be at least 25 years old. It was tough because in some cases, someone would reach that age and still not attain the privilege, leading to them eventually giving up. But things have changed. The organization sat down and thought, the elderly are getting older, and many of them have awakened. The young ones aren't putting in their maximum effort to care for the congregation. What should we do to address this? One of those 9 men suggested, let's give more responsibilities to the young ones. And that's how a new way of recruiting the youth emerged. They changed the age requirements for privileges like ministerial servant or elder. Now, it's possible to be a ministerial servant at just 16 years old, and in some cases, an elder at 20 years old. It's a significant change. Up until now, I can't imagine what a 20-year-old could advise a couple about marriage-related matters. Many of the older elders still don't like this change. With this shift, they end up losing their prominence, especially at assemblies and regional conventions. Because here's the scheme: when a very young man gives a speech at a convention, it inspires other young people to desire the same privilege, and thus the organization gains more people to do its work. And in doing so, they tend to overlook the older elders. They are no longer highly regarded, as indicated in Hebrews 6 verse 10. Why did they have to implement this scheme in recent days? The reason is that the organization is struggling. Being on the inside and having access to much evidence, I can clearly see this. The organization is fighting to survive the ongoing Armageddon war. Things are not well here, and the organization believes that the youth are the ones who will keep things afloat. So, pay attention to a scheme that was recently outlined, which many have come to know at the annual meeting. Brothers who visit the branches from now on must bring a young brother along. What's their idea behind this? What motivation do they receive for this task? They say it's to train the youth to do more in Jehovah's service. According to them, this will ensure that when the anointed ones go to heaven, before Armageddon, they will continue the work. This contradicts the book they use to defend themselves as the faithful slave. The verse says, his master on coming finds him doing so. When they delegate the work they do to the non-anointed, who will be responsible for tasks not being done by the faithful slave? This isn't well explained. The youth, specifically members of the governing body's helpers, branch committee members, circuit overseers, and elders, will continue to handle the work done by the faithful slave to care for the other sheep. Yes, that's right. The governing body's helpers and branch committee members will care for the other sheep just as the governing body does. In other words, the other sheep will feed the other sheep. This logic can awaken those who haven't fully awakened yet. This slave is not faithful. So, don't be surprised if one day you hear what I've just said. And I believe that many of the governing body's helpers will be quite pleased with this information they receive. They can't wait for the faithful slave to go to heaven, so they can steer this ship towards disaster. Unfortunately, Uncle Tony will have to listen to the boys passing on information to him. The governing body is certain that as normal humans, they don't have much time left. With that, I believe they already sense the need for restructuring. The two new young men who currently form part of the group of 9 men suggest that some change is happening. But it will become clearer in the coming days. Only time will reveal that. Preaching activity is declining significantly. Many brothers don't report accurate numbers on the S4 forms. No one has time for that. That's why at next year's convention, they will talk about preaching the good news, and Jesus will be used as a model. There will be 2 episodes of the series. The Good News According to Jesus, an 18-episode series depicting the life of Jesus. Unlike previous years, the first episode will be shown early in the morning on Friday, and the same will happen on Saturday. This convention's main focus will be to motivate the other sheep to preach more, as circuit overseers report a decline in the quality of preaching. And here, I doubt the accuracy of the numbers in the year's service reports. The organization is running out of money and publicity, or rather, running out of preaching activity. If the numbers continue to drop for another year, we'll have quite a story to tell. I'll conclude the video here. Please share your opinions in the comments and share the video. I'll see you in the next video.